投降的人是你。
你们快走！
马上布防。
动手！追放！你是张太子，阴圣，杀了不杀兄，主人还在替他卖命。
哼！在此，因受事我忠。如果我小不谋反，
你这个老……
拿到封神榜，不管指日不远了。
真的要做殷商？
So let's watch the summary of Creation of God, Episode 2, Demon Fox. Everyone, the story begins on Mount Kunlun. All the gods are gathered after Naza and Yangjian brought Yin Cao's corpse, the son of King Su, there to ask the gods on Mount Kunlun for help. At that moment, Naza begins to pressure the gods, saying that if they can't help, they should say so quickly, because there isn't much time. Yangjian also forbade Naza from arguing and asked the gods to help Yin Chao. But among all the gods, some told the god Tianzun, or the Jade Emperor, that resurrecting the dead is against the natural order and will inevitably cause misfortune. Then the Jade Emperor examined Yin Cao's body and reviewed his past actions. After reviewing, the Jade Emperor said that Yin Chao was the last hope of the Chinese royal family, capable of becoming an emperor who could prevent war, or at least appoint gods and Taoist masters. He was the hope of both the human world and heaven. Then the Jade Emperor began to perform the ritual to resurrect Yin Chao, but shortly after, other gods told the Jade Emperor that Yin Chao was absorbing the god's energy. He would soon absorb it. All at that time, the Jade Emperor did not stop the ritual, willingly sacrificing his own energy, causing his hair to turn white. Yin Chao, meanwhile, was full of self-out. Back in the royal palace, General Winsong, whose people, the Shang Dynasty emperor's subjects, had been missing for 10 years, returned from the Northern Sea War, bringing 4 generals with him. When Winsong met King Su, he returned his seal of office, but King Su was worried about his injuries from the war with Jiwa, so he explained what happened and placed the blame on Jiwa, who had attempted to assassinate the king and had been plotting a rebellion. Su ordered Winsong to go to Ziking to apprehend Jiwa, but at that time, Winsong resigned, claiming that he was old and tired. Upon hearing this, Su was enraged, but the king whispered different words to his advisor, who then said to Winsong that if Winsong was no longer loyal to the kingdom, the king would not force him. The Shang Dynasty had fallen, regardless of the king's popularity with the people. Upon hearing this, the female general, Tang Changji, decided to accept the mission. Tang Changji was the daughter of General Tang Jij, who had trained her in warfare since childhood and whom she wished to emulate. Upon hearing this, the king called Tang Changji closer. Tang Changji stated that she would set out with 500 cavalry and 4 generals. If she failed to capture Jiwa, she would die. The king then gave Tang Changji her battle attire and sent her to fight for the Shang Dynasty. When Tang Changji put on her armor, she showed it to the 4 giants, and the 4 giants and their armies began to roar. Back in Ziking, after Ji Chang's death, on the day of his funeral, the king sent a representative to meet Jiwa and confront him before Ji Chang's memorial tablet. This was because they knew the king would kill everyone after Jiwa's prior rebellion. The king's representative also confirmed with Jiwa if he had seen the king die. Jiwa replied, "Indeed, I killed the king with my own hands." Upon hearing this, the representative showed Jiwa a box containing Yin Cao's head and sword, the sword that had beheaded Yin Chao. The king's representative ordered Jiwa to commit suicide, give it to the people leaders without fail at the time and the number of sensi. Planadanga replaces Jiwa's why he shouted so loudly and declared he would kill them for their morbid. Jiwa also forbade it after that day. The General Ding Chong he planted traveled across the bridge towards the land of Sijet near the bridge of the river. People also built a bridge and planted sang songs joyfully. They didn't know that the general was there to kill the people and the people stronger. When they saw General Ting Chong Yu was a woman, they planted sang songs and played jokes nose high in the air, but at that time, The soldiers also put a rope ononi personas for Ting Changyai forbade Iton told them to sing continue and sing faster and faster bit under Jiwa. Ho is hiding nearby also came out and shouted that they were who they were, then Jiwa's soldiers planted. The Brigesso that Ting Chanyi's troops fell into the water owned by Onias for the four who were large. Also gathered their soldiers back to Lanto Savathan. When the soldiers off Jiwa rode their horse escaped from Theriting Chang Yi's troops also rode their horses in pursuit until they reached a large mountain pass. But the giant who went with Ting Chang Yi was only one without delay. They pursued Jiwa further. When they reached the front, Jiwa shouted for them to surrender on the mountaintop. Ting Chang Yi shouted back that it was Jiwa Wo should surrender. Then the Jantist, the war sword Namedmoli Changto fight with Jiwa Soldirsent, fought with Sensias for Senshi at that time, also used lightning on the war sword at that time. The Jantoso supported Jiwa's Soldierson by one when he saw sick and uncomfortable situation. Jiwa shot an arrow upwards to signal his troops to retreat as for when pursuing them from behind. Best the mountain pass ahead was to narrow. He couldn't enter Rincidin. Huenting Chan Yi rode her horse Seto pursue and killed Jiwa for Thurgia rush towards Ting. Chang Yi and Bello is a very high cliff is for Ting's sword Chang Yi. It only mattered Jiwa's had hit with a thunder, then Ting Chang used the thunder weaponamed Dukong to fight with Jiwa further, which made Jiwa fall off his horse. When Ting Chang Yi grabbed Jiwawo was on horseback accidentally, they fell into the Raven Bethel. Then when they fell to the bottom backhouse, they weren't hurt. Bethembeth of them were still alleviant when Jiwa gained consciousness before Ting Chang Yi grabbed Jiwa's hand tight lie, but his own hand didn't kill him yet. As for Jiwa at that time took the thunder to kill Ting Chang Yi, he didn't dare to kill her. Then when Jiwa let go of Ting's hand, Chang Yi, Ting Chang Yi gained consciousness and fought with Jiwa. Again as for that fighting, Chang Yi defeated Jiwa by using a stick to beat Jiwa to death at night. When Ting Chang Yi tied Jiwa up above a Jiwa came out to tell the truth about the king what he had done. A bit Ting Chang Yi didn't want to listen and didn't believe completely, even though Jiwa said that the king killed his royal family with the Fox de Monto. One power, however, Jiwa told Marin Pain that even his brother the king killed and fed the meat to his father. If Ting Chang Yi was Jiwa, would she also be in pain? Ting Chang Yi retorted that why should she believe in betrayal? Immediately when wild boar Renan hit Ting Chang Yi, Jiwa shouted and told Ting Chang Yi to let him go. Could help it Ting Chang Yi remained firm and didn't let go complete Lithan. When wild boar Madevi tree fell, Jiwa fell to the bottom and escaped from Bonsh when the wild boar treed to kill Ting Chang Yi. Then Jiwa went to help and when the wild boar to hit Ting Chang Yi further, Ting Chang Yi used her Yukong Thunder weapon to kill the wild boar successfully. Then when Ting Chang Yi got up from the wild boar to look for Jiwa further, Jiwa fell in the tree and escaped from her. Yang Mole looked for his lover this time. He also went to fish alone by the water. When he caught a fish, let it go and returned at that time. Of crows of the pavilion flew past there in large numbers and scary. And then when he saw the lover, the thunder thief flew to grab the lover and took him. Then the lover shouted for Jin and Yang Janto come and help him. Bit at that time Jiwa coming to help instead. When he helped, Jiwaddled Yang's Loverdo Li from their Becca's Jiwa had ordered Red to abandon Sijin to go Tamanchi. Jiwa would stay and protect them when he knew Yang's lover wanted Jiwa to abandon the city. Ji Kampo Delijoa shouted back that Jiwa's army was not a rival with the king's army. Jiwa didn't want to be leader in the city. It was cited that time the fiance raised an eyebrow and said to Jiwa that there is a way to bring the appointment to him and give it to the king, that Jiwa should not ascend to the throne again in the kingdom. At that time, Jiwa sided with the fiance, and he shouted that he would absolutely not give the appointment to the king. The fiance replied that Jiwa was not a fool. If there were no opponents to King Su would surely control the entire earth. Jiwa replied that the king only needed him. He didn't want to let others in. Jiwa abandoned himself, causing his family to die. And Zixi fell into war. He didn't want anyone else to die because of him. The fiance replied that King Su was the killer, not Jiwa. If Jiwa died, the earth would surely become King Su's. That's even more wrong. How can those still alive live? If Jiwa willingly dies because he thinks he is wrong, he cannot be a living person. For Zixi, when the speech ended, Licency also flew to that place, and the fiance thought it was a strange creature of the paw, which made him change greatly. Turning to look at the paw, after their failure in capturing the fiance, a crow flew and told. At that time, King Su was very angry and found a way to get the appointment. As for licency, he flew to take the fiance and Jiwa back to Zixie's land. At the same time, Jiwa's army acted swiftly in their homeland to protect their land from invasion. When everyone saw them to return, everyone was very happy, and Sang Yising said Siji was rescued, and everyone refused to leave Mount Siji completely to fight to the end. The country saw everyone's spirit, and Jiwa said that the king only needed him. He didn't want anyone else to die because of him. Everyone retorted that Siji was everyone's home, so everyone must protect it. Sang Yising asked Sang Xia, "Is Jia an angel?" Sang Xia replied that he had been an angel before. Immediately, all the kings knew that everything had already departed from there, with many troops and for more giants. Sang Yising continued to ask Sang Xia, "If you are truly an angel, do you know any arts?" Sang Xia replied that now he only knows how to fish. At that time, Sang Yising was very angry and replied that the enemy had arrived. What good is knowing how to fish? Sang Xia replied that he did not see the enemy coming, only large fish. Upon hearing this, Jiwa asked Sang Xia, "When is fishing good?" Sang Xia replied that it's best at night. King Su, at night, secretly entered the camp. The commander of the army intended to steal the war sword named Molly Chang from the giant. At that time, while the giant was asleep, Cizan also sneaked inside and tried to steal the heaviest war sword. But when he took it, the giant woke up and tried to retrieve the war sword. Jiwa's troops returned to the battle and entered inside. Gradually as they entered, but the mind had already decided. They fired flaming arrows at Tang Changyi's camp. Then, when the soldiers went to tell Tang Changyi in the camp, Tang Changyi was not at all afraid and ordered the soldiers to remain silent and do nothing, which greatly surprised the soldiers. As for the giant, when he ordered his troops to return, he still could not control them, so he chased after Lang Xinchi again. Tang Changyi still forbade her soldiers from chasing them and continued to arrange the troops according to plan. At that time, the troops chasing Lang Xinchi reached a large encampment, and Jiwa's troops came out and fired at the giant. When it hit his eye, Lang Xinchi flew up and dropped something into the giant's mouth, killing him instantly after they successfully ambushed the troops according to the orders of Sang Jia. Everyone praised Sang Jia greatly, but Sang Jia said that was just a small fish. Tang Changyi was the big fish. Everyone didn't have a good chance at that second time. They felt great pity for Jiwa when the soldiers engaged in a fierce battle. Then, when Jiwa prepared his troops to wage war against the commander Ding Changyi, the soldiers told Tang Changyi that last night Jiwa had ambushed them. They feared that they had more tricks up their sleeves, but Tang Changyi was still unafraid and continued to wage war, at which point she struck the gong, leading the Forjonsto charge into battle against Jiwa's troops. Jiwa's troops were also ready and fired at Tang Changyi's troops. The three giants used parasols called Maui Hong to deflect all the attacks. At that time, Lang Xinchi flew to one of the parasols, but the parasol deflected the attacks back to Jiwa's troops. So Jiwa ordered his troops to retreat. Then the three giants told the truth, using fire and parasols to kill more of Jiwa's troops. Indeed, Jiwa retreated. Lang Xinchi flew to block all the forests so Jiwa wouldn't get hit. Sang Jia yelled at the soldiers to raise the bridge to block the passage. At the same time, Tang Changyi rode a horse, leapt from behind, and grabbed Jiwa, causing both of them to fall into the water. When they fell into the water, Jiwa and Tang Changyi continued to fight underwater. At that time, Jiwa killed Tang Changyi in the water, and because his heart was unsettled, he pulled her back up. The giant used a grappling hook called Makuto break open Jiwa's camp gate. He also managed to get past the inner Gatine killed Jiwa's soldiers one by one. He killed a number of Jiwa's soldiers. Suddenly, someone killed the giant. The rescuer was Yin Chao, who had a 3-in-1 appearance. There were also different voices speaking. Professor and Yang Jian also flew there. They told their teacher who that person was. Then Yin Chao fought the three giants. Sang Xia worried that Yin Chao couldn't win, but Professor and Yang Jian said that he would definitely win. Then, in their country, they continued to fight. Yin Chao defeated the three giants. So Sang Xia said that Sich was saved. The professor called out to stop Yin Chao from killing the 3 giants because they were gods, but Yin Kao still didn't listen and killed the giant. When Jiwa helped Tang Changji didn't recognize him. Jiwa told Tang Changji to surrender to him. At that time, he took off Tang Changji's clothes and examined her body, and he told her to take him to King Su. Tang Changji also asked about the reasons for his surrender. Jiwa explained that he had served the king for a long time. He had conquered the city of Inju. Now it was time for his home to be destroyed. He didn't want the people to die like in Inju. When things weren't over, Tang Changji attacked Jiwa from behind and killed him in order to take him to King Su. Then Tang Changji took Jiwa along. Jiwa jokingly said, "General Tang, you're ambushing me from behind. Don't worry, I'm not running anywhere." And he hoped to help such soon. Tang Changji replied that Jiwa should surrender quickly. So no one would die because of him. Jiwa replied that he died because he was defending his home. Does Tang Changji have a home? Tang Changji replied that she grew up on the battlefield. Since childhood, she didn't have a home to live in, only she was left of her family. One day, she would die like her father on the battlefield. To protect her family. That bit of them are fighting for their family. Jiva further asked Tang Changyi what their differences are. Tang Changyi retorted that wins because Jiva fights for the living but Tang Changyi fights for the dead. In the evening, Tang Changyi started to feel unwell, went to see King Suo and Suo Dajin, who then went to kill a beautiful maidservant. Afterward, Suo Dajin gave a fruit to a young girl to allow her body to live on. When the girl ate the fruit and died, Suo Dajin entered her body. But the opposite happened. Suo Dajin could not leave the girl's body. She was stuck there. Suo Dajin also told the king that her power is almost gone and she will be trapped in the old body forever. Meanwhile, Mr. Wilson followed the king's order and searched for a way to capture Jiva and kill her. Meanwhile, after Tang Changyi captured Jiva, she took Jiva to Mr. Wilson's camp. After meeting Mr. Wilson, Jiva insisted that they are not wrong because they surrendered themselves to prevent the king from killing more innocent people. They came there to negotiate. Mr. Wilson retorted that there's nothing to negotiate anymore. The Chi people must give up and not be captured. Jiva retorted that Chi people have not given up. Mr. Wilson didn't know this at all. Jiva could hardly believe that Mr. Wilson was such a person. He was once a famous and renowned person on the battlefield. But now, he serves a bad person. Mr. Wilson retorted that even if he becomes a dog, he will gladly serve the great king. When Tang Changyi told Mr. Wilson that Jiva has surrendered, he should stop killing the Chi people. Mr. Wilson gave in, but not without hesitation, and he said Tang Changyi has failed. He is very hopeless about destroying the Tang clan's family. Now, he is protecting a traitor. Tang Changyi retorted that remembered what her father said. Killing innocent people is a grave sin in life. Mr. Wilson retorted they will not spare any of the people. It is the king's order. He must do it absolutely. Tang Changyi retorted that only kills enemies, not innocent people. At night, when the soldiers took Jiva to prison, unexpectedly, Tang Changyi secretly released Jiva from the camp. But as they rode their horses away, Mr. Wilson rode his fire horse and caught up with them. He surrounded them with fire and captured them. But then, Yin Chao came and helped them both escape. Then, Yin Chao shouted at Mr. Wilson to respect him because he is the adopted son of King Sang, the son of the Shang Dynasty. Upon learning this, Mr. Wilson escaped. Yin Chao became this way. Yin Chao explained painfully that because his father killed Yin Chao's entire family, colluding with the Jin demons to gain power. But Mr. Wilson serves the evil king. Mr. Wilson retorted they fights to protect the great king and cannot obey Yin Chao. He must obey King Suo's orders. If he doesn't obey, then her is a traitor. He would rather be blind in one eye than obey a traitor. In the evening, Yin Chao was very angry and did not kill Mr. Wilson. He spared his life and let him return. He carried a message to King Suo that Yin Chao has returned to take revenge. If anyone dares to step into Shichi territory, they will be killed. After delivering the message, Yin Chao left. Meanwhile, when Tang Changyi took Jiva back to Shichi territory, Jiva told Tang Changyi that if she releases Jiva, she will be punished. What she regrets most is that she didn't die on the battlefield with her father. Jiva will have the opportunity to die on the battlefield for her family and her land. Then, they arrived at the Shichi refuge. Her lover thanked Tang Changyi for helping to release Jiva. When Tang Changyi was about to leave, Jiva stopped her because she has nowhere to stay. If she goes back, it's like sending her to death. Then, Yin Chao returned. He changed his appearance back to normal and hugged Jiva with longing. Then, he recalled the past when Indra asked Yin Kawa, especially what his father did. He wants to remember it all without gaps. Indra explained that Yin Kao's hatred kept him alive. Yin Kao's hatred protected him and absorbed the elemental power from Indra. From now on, the automaton must control itself. If it cannot be controlled, then it is no longer itself. When fast, the automaton still willingly wins to rage and has transformed into 3 bodies merged together. Meanwhile, the emperor tells the automaton further that it must retrieve the appointment letter because only the automaton is the last hope, especially since Zixi needs the automaton to help save. When he imagined, Jiwa also returned the automaton's sword to him, with the automaton saying, if one day the automaton can no longer control itself, no longer recognizes itself, Jiwa must raise that sword to remind him. When fast, Jiwa raised the sword and sang with the automaton. At that time, the automaton also said he admires Jiwa very much, who fights for family and land, but the automaton has no family anymore, only enemies. Jiwa replied, in their country, they won the war with Lord Wensong, and they will unite to defeat King Su. They will get that sword for King Su. The automaton replied, he wants it for King Su with his own hands. As for Sudaji, her beauty becomes worse and worse, and she doesn't want the king to see her face anymore, but the king told Sudaji that the wounds on her body are because of the king. She suffers because of the king. Sudaji replied, the king can choose a more beautiful concubine. King Su replied, Sudaji is the most beautiful woman. No one can replace her. Immediately, when a servant brought the torn stomach cloth inside and dropped the cloth to the ground, the king killed her because he didn't want to see Sudaji's beauty. At this time, then the servant brought Lord Wensong's message, letting the king know that the automaton, King Su's son, is still alive, and asking for forgiveness for the automaton as well, because he is King Su's heir. Upon seeing the message, King Su became very angry and sent a message back. When Prince Zixi is gone, he will return the appointment letter. The king agreed to pardon the automaton. As for Sudaji, she asked King Su, why did the king pardon the automaton? The king replied, because he still obeys the automaton's orders. Wait until he gets the appointment letter. Then the king will kill him afterwards. Turning to the place of the ghost soldiers, the ghost soldiers' master went to the ghost soldiers, who were shirking their work, but the ghost soldiers asked for forgiveness from their master and begged for a final pardon. At that time, the master of the ghost soldiers gave a jug of water to the ghost soldiers to continue working. As for King Su, he also called the army to gather and forgave them for their betrayal of the king in the past, but the king asked them to reaffirm their loyalty to the king. At that time, the king had the ghost soldiers use the jug of water to sprinkle on the snakes, hundreds of heads, on all the soldiers. To control all those soldiers. When all the controlled soldiers are killed, all those soldiers dissolved again, which is the form of ghost soldiers. To fight against Jiwa's army. The ghost soldiers also told King Su Fatal those soldiers fear nothing. They only obey the king's orders. Everyone gathered and had fun together. They drank to celebrate their victory in the war with King Su. Afterwards, in their country, they took the wine to share and drink. Yangzi used his axe to split the wood into pieces to prepare to light a fire that night, and Licenzi used his flint to light a fire. When the fire was lit, many women shared wine with Jiwa's army, drinking with love, including a couple who were getting married. Yangjin told a woman who loved him, Fate is a god. He cannot drink wine, but when that woman fell, she kissed Yangjin. As for Songxian, he told the automaton that is how people should live. The automaton replied, he will help Jiwa defeat the king. Songxian replied, he knows the automaton's heart wants to help Jiwa, but cannot be impulsive at this time, must lead people according to heaven's will. Think big and long term. Go far to take King Su's head, punish the wicked, seek justice for the good, as the king of the world needs all of that. When he heard, the automaton gave his son to Song Xiyan. As for Chang'an, when she was dressed as a woman, she was very shy, and when she looked in the mirror, she was even more shy. At that time, the dresser told Chang'an that take her master as her husband. His share is also single. When he heard, and Ting Changyi did not respond at all. Following Ting Changyi coming out and sat next to a girl, suddenly Song Jia saw a tattoo on Ting Changyi's body. It was strange. So she tried to look again and again. The girl called Ting Changyi outside. They danced together again. In the dance circle, Jiwa also danced. They danced together and looked at each other. Then, when Song Jia went to Ting Changyi to look at the tattoo on her body again, the girl also offered Song Jia a dance. At the same time, Mr. Wilson here also told a method called the 10 formations. To use that method to protect his army before preparing to fight with Jiwa's army. At that time, they drank the water that Mr. Wilson had made. When they drank it, there was a tattoo on their neck, just like Ting Changyi. Then Mr. Wilson told the 10 large mirror troops to fly up. And absorb the moonlight into Mr. Wilson's third eye, which made that night have no moonlight at all. To prepare to fight with Jiwa's army that night. Later, when they didn't see the moonlight, they became very curious and, upon encountering them, became curious and shot fire arrows forward. They suddenly saw Mr. Wilson's army rushing their. So they declared war and prepared their troops for battle. Then, upon encountering them, they prepared troops to resist Mr. Wilson's army. Mr. Wilson also used his third eye to look at all those mirror troops and shone on Jiwa's camp from one place to another. When the troops or people touched all that light, they would faint and lose consciousness. It couldn't be resisted. As for Lang Dinsi, he kept dodging those mirrors in the air again and again, but he couldn't dodge them no matter how hard he tried. And the light of the mirror was getting colder, but he flew away from there. In time. Song Jia, when she saw that, Song Xia went to see and knew that it was one of the 10 death formations. To avoid that formation, he must find the location of Mr. Wilson's ceremony that counts that formation to see it. And Song Jia told the people to escape from all that light. Then, when Mr. Wilson's army arrived at Jiwa's gate, they used large pieces of wood to smash the gate and entered, successfully killing many of Jiwa's troops. One by one, among them were the palace guards. At that time, they threw oil to kill Mr. Wilson's troops at the last breath. Upon encountering Jiwa, he came to see and, with arrows, to help other troops. He was stopped, with Jiwa being brought inside for safety. At the same time, more fires flew into Jiwa's camp and hit Jiwa's camp from one place to another. As for the people, when they were hit by the mirror light, they started to lose consciousness. One by one, when Mr. Wilson's army entered, they shouted that they must kill them all, without exception. Then, upon encountering Jiwa, he went to fight with all those troops. Lang Dinsi came to help, while Ting Changyi rode a horse to help a girl from the mirror light. Song Jia, when he was attacked by Mr. Wilson's army, was panicked. He shouted for Na Jia and Yang Jin to come help him. When he didn't see the two of them come to help, he used water to extinguish all those troops and shouted for Yang Jin again and again. Suddenly, the two of them flew and arrived. To help Song Jia. Then, upon encountering Jiwa and Lang Dinsi arriving, Lang Dinsi used their large wings to block the mirror light from all of them. But at that time, another piece of luck was that Yin Zhao flew there to use the roof to block the light for all of them, protecting them from fainting from the mirror light. Then, upon encountering them, they saw Mr. Wilson's army below had tattoos like Ting Changyi's. Song Jia started to understand the truth. The truth was that Ting Changyi worked for Mr. Wilson. If Ting Changyi caught Song Jia alive along with the Imperial Seal, then Mr. Wilson would pardon everyone. Mr. Wilson only needed the Imperial Seal and Song Jia. When night gathered, Ting Changyi drank Mr. Wilson's water. To have a tattoo on his neck. Song Jia, when he knew that Ting Changyi wanted Song Jia, and Song Jia went to find a place to pretend to be dead, so that Ting Changyi could take him tamer. Wilson, at that time, Song Jia placed a sword at his waist to pretend to be dead, and Ting Changyi came to see and casually looked at the people, old and young, men and women, here, and also feared and entered to escape from all that mirror light. But at that time, the light was still shining, so Na Jia used his large cloth. To block all that mirror light, protecting the people, while Yang Jin dug the ground from one place to another to help the people. Among them was a woman who secretly loved him. A little later, Naji's cloth couldn't resist the mirror light for long, which caused his cloth to tear little by little, and upon encountering the troops rushing to kill the people, he used his hands to fight with all those troops, while Chang'e was apprehending Sung Siya, according to the agreement, and she was strong because she worked for Wensong under the condition of 3 days and no killing of people. When Wensong heard this, he didn't Korean only praise Chang'e, saying that Chang'e's father would. He confronted and obeyed the king's orders completely. When Chang'e heard this, she was furious and sent the appointment back to Shang Siya and told Shang Siya to return, but in fact, it was Shang Siya's trick. Shang Siya had already given the appointment to Ji Washington. As for the box containing the appointment, it was just a ruse to shoot upwards, telling Ji Washington the location of Wensong's ceremony. Shang Siya also told Ji Wa to stop Wensong only by capturing Wensong's third eye. At the same time, Ji Wan knew where Wensong's ceremony was, and he immediately rode his horse there. And he also encountered the glass shattering from Yin Zhao when the fire flew. The fire was also stopped initially, with Yin Zhao giving Ji Washington some time, and Yin Zhao allowed Ji Washington to go to Li Sen Zito, escape further shattering, and flew to Wensong's ceremony. But when Wensong saw him, he used his animal to kill Shang Siya immediately. At that time, it hit Shang Siya against a rock. Chang'e went to help Shang Siya, but her sword couldn't kill the animal. She was injured by the animal, but when Li Sen, she and Ji Washington arrived, Ji Washington saw that Shang Siya was unconscious, and he assumed that Chang'e killed Shang Siya, so he was very angry with her. Chang'e told Ji Washington that only by stabbing Wensong's third eye could the war be stopped. At the same time, Na Chan, unable to withstand the glass shattering, continued to be hit by the glass shattering and fell onto the roof. Yang Jinsu was willing to protect one person. Then, when Song's army stormed inside to kill everyone inside, Ji Washington and Chang'e continued fighting the animal. Chang'e jumped and stabbed the animal from above. This prevented the animal from continuing to use fire. Then Ji Washington went up and threatened Wensong to stop the war, but Wensong still refused to stop. When Ji Washington was about to stab Wensong's eye, Wensong's sword got stuck, and he ordered Chang'e to kill Ji Washington to atone for her crime. Chang'e refused to help completely, even if she died when the ceremony was over. Ji Washington, knowing that Chang'e would die when the ceremony ended, hesitated greatly in stabbing the eye of Wensong, because if the ceremony ended, Chang'e would die as well. At the same time, Wensong's army was preparing to kill the people, but then Chang'e grabbed Jiwa's sword and successfully stabbed Wensong's third eye, causing all the soldiers to die one by one, including Chang'e herself. As she died, she apologized to Ji Washington. Ji replied that Ji Washington was her home. Then, Chang'e told Ji Wa that she missed Jiwa's singing very much and wanted to hear it one last time. After hearing her last request, Ji Washington sang the song one last time, heartbroken, before Chang'e disappeared. Before the song ended, Chang'e had already disappeared, and when she died, Chang'e's stone fell into Jiwa's hands. The army and people of Ji Washington who had been shattered were all restored. When they were restored, Nachan and Yangjin also flew to their master. After that, Yin Zhao went back to the palace to go to the place where his disciple used to play. To close the place, the fact that his disciple was alive when Yin Zhao brought the shattering to play, King Suo heard it and came to see it. Then Yin Zhao transformed into a giant to kill King Suo and the three-shot Cha Jin, but he didn't succeed, as something blocked him. If Lord Winston were to cut off his own head and put it in a box. But Lord Winston cut off the heads of his army first, and then cut off his own head afterward. And the army didn't die either. They were magic, able to cut off their own heads without dying. Then he had the ghost army kill Winston's enemies, and then he waged war with the living army.